What's up, you beautiful bastards? Ready to get weird? Buckle the fuck up, because today we're diving headfirst into one of the most iconic fantasy worlds of all time, The Legend of Zelda. Whether you're a Hyrule historian or just a curious noob, get ready to have your mind blown, because we're going deep, dark, and uncovering the shit Nintendo doesn't want you to know. With me, as always, is the ultimate Zelda nerd. Seriously, this guy probably has a Triforce tramp stamp and a Hylian shield nightlight. No judgment here, of course. We all have our kinks. But let's cut the crap and get right into it. First things first, what the hell is Hyrule? Is it like a magical Disneyland with a serious drinking problem?
Well, it's not exactly a theme park. Think medieval Europe, but with, 10 times the magic, monsters, and mayhem. Hyrule is this ancient kingdom that's been through some serious shit. Wars, plagues, demonic invasions, you name it.
Sounds like my kind of place. But where the hell did it all begin? Didn't some goddesses just, cough this place into existence?
It's a little more elegant than that. The creation myth talks about 3 goddesses, Din, Nayru, and Furor. They were like the ultimate power trio. Din was all about raw power and created the land itself. Nayru, the brainy one, established the laws of nature, and Furor, kind of the free spirit, breathed life into everything.
So basically, a divine three-way that births a whole damn kingdom. I can dig it. But let's be real, those goddesses were kind of dicks to leave behind that Triforce thing to cause all this drama, right?
The Triforce isn't inherently evil. It represents the essence of those 3 goddesses: power, wisdom, and courage. When someone touches it, the pieces split based on their personality. It's like a cosmic personality test. Problem is, most people are greedy bastards, so they usually end up with the power piece.
Yeah, power corrupts and Kopro's power corrupts, absolutely. Or whatever that dead dude said. But hey, while we're on the subject of power, let's talk about Link. This dude's the silent protagonist in every game. Doesn't say shit, but somehow always manages to save the day. Is he just a mutant ninja with a heart of gold?
Link's silence is intentional. It allows the player to project themselves onto the hero and experience the adventure through his eyes. But he's not just a blank slate. He's the chosen hero, destined to protect Hyrule and rescue Zelda from that power-hungry creep Ganondorf.
Okay, so he's a badass mutant ninja who just happens to be madly in love with a princess. Sounds like a recipe for some serious blue balls.
Their relationship is definitely complicated. It's a central theme in the series, spanning lifetimes, and fueled by destiny, sacrifice, and a love that transcends death itself.
All right, that's actually kind of romantic. In a doomed lovers kind of way.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to Hyrule. What are some of the other fucked up places you can visit in this magical kingdom?
Oh man, where do I even begin? You've got the Lost Woods, where fairies and monsters throw ragers together. Death Mountain, home to those rock-eating Gorons we all secretly want to hug. The Gerudo Desert, ruled by those badass warrior women who might steal your heart. And your wallet, probably.
Damn, Hyrule sounds like a wild time. But let's not forget the Water Temple. Fuck that place. I'd rather fight Ganon with a rusty spoon than deal with that underwater bullshit again. Speaking of weird shit, let's talk about those Gorons. They're like rolling boulders with a thing for sumo wrestling, right?
That's one way to put it. But they're also a proud and ancient race. They're fiercely loyal, surprisingly peaceful, and their culture is all about strength and respect.
So they're not just muscle-bound meatheads. They're like the honorable meatheads.
Right.
I can respect that. But seriously, what the fuck do they eat? Rocks can't be that nutritious.
They have a unique digestive system. It lets them break down rocks and minerals for sustenance. Believe it or not, their diet is actually pretty rich in essential nutrients.
That's more power to them. I'll stick to my pizza and beer, thanks. But speaking of power, how the hell does Link survive all this shit? I mean, dude gets thrown off cliffs, attacked by giant spiders, and somehow always comes back for more. Does he have a secret stash of health potions or something?
That's where the Triforce comes in. Link's piece, the Triforce of Courage, gives him the strength and resilience to face any challenge. It's not just physical power, it's also about willpower. The will to never give up, to always fight for what's right. And of course, he's got that magical Master Sword, which is basically the Excalibur of Hyrule.
Wait, hold up. Didn't you say the Master Sword was actually a chick?
It's not that simple. Fi is a spirit, an AI created by the goddesses to guide the hero. She lives within the Master Sword, offering wisdom, guidance, and sometimes even a little sass.
So Link is running around with a magical talking sword that's basically his girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird, even for Hyrule. But how did a sword get a spirit in the first place?
The Master Sword wasn't always so chatty. It was originally the goddess sword, but it needed to be infused with the spirit of a hero to reach its full potential. Fi was created for that purpose. to guide Link, empower the sword, and ultimately sacrifice herself so the Master Sword could be born.
Damn, talk about commitment. So this Master Sword is basically a divine vibrator.
Not exactly. It's the ultimate weapon against evil. It can seal away darkness and restore balance to the world. It represents hope, courage, and the hero spirit.
All right, I get it. It's not a sex toy. It's a legendary weapon of destiny. But let's be real, the Master Sword would be pretty useless without Zelda, right? Is she just a helpless damsel in distress? Or does she actually do anything besides get kidnapped?
Zelda is so much more than a damsel in distress. She's often a powerful sorceress, a wise ruler, and sometimes even a warrior in her own right.
So she's not just some pretty face waiting for Link to sweep her off her feet. She's got her own shit going on.
Exactly. Zelda is a complex character. She's the embodiment of wisdom, courage, and compassion. She's just as important to saving Hyrule as Link.
Right, I'm starting to see why Link's so smitten with her. She's a badass princess with magical powers. Who wouldn't be into that?
Their relationship is a tapestry of love, duty, and destiny. It's a story that continues to captivate fans to this day.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground here, but I think we've only scratched the surface of this crazy-ass world.
There's always more to uncover.
I bet. But I think my brain needs a break from all this goddess-level shit. Let's talk about something a little more down to earth. Like, what other freaky-deaky creatures call Hyrule home? Besides those boulder-loving Gorons, of course.
Oh, Hyrule's got a whole menagerie of weirdness.
Hit me with it.
Well, there are the Zoras.
The fish people.
Yeah, but they're way more than just mermaids with attitude. They're skilled warriors, musicians, guardians of the waters.
So they're like the aquatic ninjas of Hyrule.
Pretty much. They even have their own complex society with royalty and ancient traditions.
Fish people with a king and a whole culture? That's kind of dope. But do they get high? Imagine a Zora, smoking seaweed out of a conch shell.
I don't think that's their style. They seem pretty content with music, combat, and protecting their domain.
Fair enough. What about those bird people, the Rito?
Yes, the Rito.
They're basically the FedEx of Hyrule, right?
Yeah.
Delivering packages and shit.
I wouldn't say that. They're expert archers, messengers, and navigators. They have a deep connection to the winds and the heavens.
So they're more like the spiritual airmail of Hyrule.
Got it.
But enough about the good guys. Let's talk about the villains. I mean, besides Ganon, who else is trying to fuck shit up in Hyrule?
Well, there's a whole rogues gallery of baddies.
Like who?
You've got your moblins, the classic orc-like grunts.
Basically cannon fodder for Link.
Exactly. They're not too bright, but they make up for it in numbers and brute strength.
What about those creepy little bokoblins?
Oh yeah, the bokoblins. They're smaller and more agile. They love setting traps and ambushing travelers.
Sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Anything a little more terrifying, like those creepy-ass re-deads?
Yeah.
Those things still give me nightmares.
Ah, yes, the re-deads. They're undead creatures that feed on life force. Their scream can literally drain your energy.
Fuck that noise. I'm sticking to daylight hours if I ever visit Hyrule. But hey, let's switch gears for a sec. We talked about those badass Gorons and the Link-Zelda romance, but what about weapons and shit? Does Link have a whole arsenal of badassery at his disposal?
Oh yeah, Link's got a whole toy box of weapons and gadgets.
Like what?
You've got the hook shot, a grappling hook that can pull you across chasms and snag items.
Handy.
The boomerang, a trusty weapon that can stun enemies and retrieve items.
Classic.
And of course, the bombs.
Now we're talking. Nothing says hero like blowing shit up.
Indeed.
What about armor? Does he rock some sweet chainmail or a badass helmet with horns?
Link's fashion sense is pretty diverse. He's worn everything from the classic green tunic to elaborate suits of armor, each with its own unique properties and benefits.
So he's like a magical fashion icon.
You could say that. He even has masks that can transform him into different creatures.
Masks?
Yep, they grant him new abilities and powers.
Okay, that's pretty badass. What about the villains? Do they have any cool weapons or armor? Or are they stuck with rusty swords and loincloths?
Ganon's forces aren't exactly known for their fashion sense,
Secure.
but they do have some impressive weaponry. Massive swords, axes, and spews, often imbued with dark magic.
Sounds brutal.
Their armor, while crude, is often spiked and reinforced for intimidation.
Spikes. Seems a little dangerous for the wearer, don't you think?
Perhaps.
Okay, let's get back to the Triforce. We talked about how the pieces reflect your personality, but what happens if you collect all three? Do you become a god? Win the lottery?
The Triforce grants the holder their heart's desire.
Okay, that's pretty tempting.
But it also amplifies their dominant trait, So if you're a greedy asshole, you become an even bigger asshole with godlike power.
Not exactly a recipe for a happy ending.
Precisely.
So it's like a cosmic monkey's paw.
You could say that.
But let's say you're a good person with a pure heart. What kind of shit could you do with the full Triforce?
The possibilities are endless. You could restore balance to the world, heal the sick, create new life. You could even rewrite the laws of reality.
Damn. That's some serious power.
It is. The Triforce is a force of pure creation. It can shape the universe to your will.
Imagine being able to snap your fingers and make all the bad shit disappear. No more Ganon, no more Redeads, no more Water Temple.
It's a tempting thought.
Paradise, baby.
But paradise is often fleeting. The Triforce can be used for good or evil. It's a test of character. True power lies not in strength or magic, but in the choices we make.
All right, that's enough philosophy for one day. Let's talk about something a little more fun, like those weird-ass fairies that follow Link around and heal him.
Yeah.
Do they have, like, fairy orgies or something?
Fairies are magical creatures that embody the life force of Hyrule.
So they were like tiny little cheerleaders with wings.
They're more than just cheerleaders. They're guardians of nature, protectors of balance. They play a vital role in maintaining the harmony of Hyrule.
Okay, but do they get drunk on nectar and fly around naked?
Probably not. They're generally depicted as pure and innocent creatures.
Fine, fine. No naked fairy parties. But what about those great fairies? They're not exactly tiny and innocent.
The great fairies are powerful beings that embody the essence of nature's magic.
And they're hot.
They're often found in hidden springs and grottos, offering blessings and upgrades to those who seek their aid.
Blessings and upgrades. Sounds kind of kinky. What kind of upgrades are we talking about?
They typically enhance Link's abilities, increasing his defense, attack power, or magic capacity.
So they're like magical mechanics who can pimp out your gear.
Yeah.
Not as exciting as naked fairy parties, but I guess it's still pretty useful.
Their power is not to be underestimated. They're ancient beings with a deep connection to the forces of nature.
Right. Well, we've covered a lot of ground here. From fish people to bird people to giant magical MILFs. What else is there to explore in this crazy-ass world? All right, you magnificent bastards. We're back for the final rounds of our Zelda Bender. We've talked about everything from divine three-ways to magical MILFs. But now it's time to get down to brass tacks. If you stumbled upon the Triforce, which piece would you end up with?
That's the question, isn't it? The Triforce is a mirror to your soul, reflecting your deepest desires and motivations.
Let's break this shit down. We got power, wisdom, and courage. Let's start with power. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a goddamn god? Unlimited power, bitches, money, the whole 9 yards.
Power is seductive, there's no doubt about that, but it's a double-edged sword. Without wisdom to guide it and courage to wield it responsibly, power can corrupt even the purest heart.
Yeah, true. Look at Ganondorf. Dude's got more power than a nuclear reactor, but he's also a miserable, power-hungry dick. So what about wisdom? Would I become like some kind of super genius, solve all the world's problems, cure cancer and poverty, invent a beer that never gives you a hangover?
Wisdom is more than just intelligence. It's about understanding the interconnectedness of all things, seeing the bigger picture, making decisions that benefit not just yourself, but the world around you.
Sounds kind of boring, to be honest. I'd rather have a beer that never gives you a hangover than solve world hunger. So that leaves courage. Does that mean I get to be a fearless badass like Link? Fighting monsters, rescuing princesses, and looking damn good in a green tunic.
Courage isn't just about physical bravery. It's about facing your fears, standing up for what you believe in, doing what's right, even when it's hard. It's about having the strength to make tough choices, the resilience to bounce back from setbacks.
Damn, you're making me think way too much for a podcast about a video game. Okay, I'm going to be real with you. I think I'd probably end up with the Triforce of Power. I'm a sucker for a good power trip. But hey, maybe with a little wisdom and courage sprinkled in, I could use that power for good. Be a benevolent dictator, throw some awesome parties, maybe even save the world in my spare time. What about you? Which piece would you choose?
I'd like to think I'd choose wisdom. But maybe I'm already a bit too obsessed with knowledge and understanding. Maybe I need a little more courage to break out of my comfort zone and actually make a difference in the world.
Or maybe you just need to loosen up and have some fun. Life's too short to be all serious and shit. But hey, that's the beauty of the Triforce, right? It makes you question who you are, what you value, and what you would do with ultimate power. And that's something we can all ponder, whether we're exploring Hyrule or just navigating this crazy-ass thing called life. So, there you have it, folks. We've journeyed through Hyrule, explored its myths and legends, and even contemplated our own destinies with the Triforce. Big thanks to our Zelda guru for dropping some serious knowledge bombs. I gotta admit, even I learned a thing or two. And to all you magnificent bastards out there, stay curious, stay thirsty, and never stop exploring. Who knows what adventures await you just around the corner or in the depths of your own imagination. And with that, we're out. Peace out, bitches.